We lost 13 staff members.
He did not have a permanent teacher. And at a certain point, a fellow parent pulled out her physics textbook and she stepped forward and she was guiding the class.
I think the job within itself is like demanding. I think teaching is unique. I mean, it's a really service, it's probably equivalent to like any service-based job. I think the thing that we find is that like it requires you to be like super on, like when you're on, like you're in the moment, you're so on. And so, yeah, there's a cultivation of like, there is this desire for more.
Yes. So last year we lost 13 staff members, which was for us a huge hit because our staffing number is never more than 65, 67. So to have 13 people actually move on to do other things and then having exit interviews with them, they were, many were going to opportunities where they could stay and work at home. We had some going totally out of education. So we had to really look a lot at, what could we do as a school to make this a more, a place where people wanted to be and were able to live their lives at the same time.
So at my previous school, I was in kind of a similar role, but I had classes that I co-taught in as well. So it was however many periods a day that we had, maybe like 5 that we were teaching. And I would do 2 periods that I would teach with someone else and then 3 periods on my own. But there wasn't really much time other than the regular planning time to plan for both of those. And then just without having the flexibility in the day can get really rushed. So there's a lot that I have to kind of put into one time period.
Broadly speaking, this year, it is the number one topic that I am hearing from families on every single week. I've never experienced this as LSAT chair. In fact, I have families stopping me at the school, like somebody will point me out and say, she's LSAT chair, please help us. Our child still does not have a biology teacher. They are in class doing TikToks. There is no classroom management. They aren't learning, and we don't know what to do.
We asked people, what did they want? A lot of it was, being able to have more of their personal time.
At times as a building leader, we have to just be thoughtful about our implementation of the guidance, right? And how we can still humanize the experience for all of our educators, understanding, like I tell our team all the time, like I know that you are more than just a teacher, right? Like your identity is wrapped up in being a partner, being a parent, being an auntie, being an aspiring entrepreneur. And so when our educators come to work, they're bringing their whole selves, right? And so we have to honor and respect the fact that schedules may be different, that they need sometimes just a moment, right, to handle something personally. So we try to be very thoughtful about our approach and, again, how we operationalize our work for our teachers to make sure that it's flexible to the extent possible.
I think the things that we've tried to do is be thoughtful about, like, we have like once a month we do like our Wellness Wednesdays where we release our staff at like 1 and just like let them take care of like things, because typically in teaching, like, you have to take days off to like go to the doctor, take your kids to the doctor, and so that's been a small mechanism. Other things that we've been trying to do around teacher retention is just like, providing like small things like food. So like once a month, if not twice a month, like providing breakfast or lunch for staff. Like, I think that really helps out. The third would be like a focus on just like really intentionally building community. So we have a structure that's called Adult Crew, and in an Adult Crew, like, it allows us to really center adult relationships. So the mantra is we decenter students so that we can center adults. And so, yeah, we do a lot of like just taking care of each other as a community. So that would be the third. And then the fourth, which is not a formal structure, but something that I'm constantly thoughtful about, is just like sometimes I'll tell like a teacher, I'll tell a teacher to like take off, and I won't charge them leave. Like I won't, just try to do things to be considerate.
So we did a couple of things. We changed our school day a little because we had a really long school day for students. It didn't end until 4:00. And we actually looked at, what the requirements were for the city. So we backed that down to students now leave us at 3:15. We made a request to the office of the state superintendent that we could have a half a day every week. One day of the month, I think it's the third Wednesday, we just send staff home. And so they can, take care of doctor appointments or whatever else they want.
Yeah, I'd say my current school and my role right now, I do have, that was one of the things that I was looking for, was some flexibility in terms of the day. So it's not really in terms of like my time, like in terms of like not necessarily being at school, which is kind of what I'm leaning toward. But in terms of like when I'm at school, I do have about 3 periods at least twice a week in a row. So first, second, and third period, which is like a flex block. So that's what I'm doing right now. So that's usually, I've been spending the whole time planning, because special education is a lot of planning. And I will be doing like some pullouts for students with IEPs from the autism classroom starting next quarter during one of those blocks. But I do have a bit longer of a planning period, at least 2 days out of the week, and every other week it's 3 days.
Right. I think that those little gestures and considerations are one that administrators should have in mind, right? Like putting a grace period in for arrival to understand that things happen in life. Also having a deep bench of substitutes or folks who can provide coverage, because we know life happens. And, honoring the schedule that we do have in place and taking liberties as we can. So whether that's offering something virtually, whether that is, again, just honoring people's time and not asking people to come to a meeting that can be a simple email or a quick conversation. Just being intentional is what I'd say.
So what we do see is less teacher absences, because that was something last year was just, it seemed like every day we were scrambling around without teachers in classrooms. And so this year, we've had less of that, which is great.
There's still a lot of work to do, but just having the flexible time built into the school day makes it so I can actually do more things that I need to be able to do to serve students.